Tony Khan, Billionaire, wrestling promoter, Cyberbully?
Don't touch that mouse unless you're trying to subscribe. The next pro wrestling vid coming at you in 3, 2, 1.
Tony Twitterfingers is back just 1 week after making waves for going on a Friday night rampage against bots. It's almost Easter and Jesus is looking down on me because y'all know I love a good Tony Twitterfingers meltdown. By the way, the best wrestling show on Friday nights isn't Rampage or SmackDown, it's Tony Khan lashing out on the Bird app. When he's not counting his black friends or calling for a war on robots, Tony Twitterfingers is all in your mentions, rabbit ears and all, fighting with anybody who has something negative to say about him and his company. This week, Khan's botched debut of Satnam Singh forced the AEW President into damage control. Not only was the rollout poorly executed, but this giant-phobic AEW fanbase salivates over smaller indie prototypes flying around the ring and bleeding all over each other. They're not one for giants, or for that matter, even big men who are criminally underbooked in this promotion. But I am. Botched rollout aside, let's not bury the lead here. Jay Lethal, who once went missing off AEW television and still has yet to win a match on national TV, is finally getting a storyline he can sink his teeth into. And despite him being black in AEW, it doesn't have anything to do with the unsanctioned FTW title. Lethal is more talented than just about anybody on the AEW roster, and having a heater in the Giant Singh and an equally charismatic manager in Sanjay Dutt will give Jay Lethal all the momentum he needs to become the main event act he should have been on day one. Giant phobia be damned. But instead of just being great and letting his long-term booking do the talking, Tony Khan's billion-dollar fortune is a far cry from his 10-cent temperament, especially on Twitter, where he does his best work. Billionaires are notoriously self-unaware due to their circumstances of living in a billion-dollar bubble. Tony Khan is no exception. Billionaires also like to control everything, especially their own narratives, which risk being compromised on a Bird app where everybody with any kind of following is polarizing. Tony Khan is no exception. Hell, Elon Musk got so fed up with being attacked on Twitter, he's messing around and trying to buy the narrative. With Tony Khan's narrative getting away from him and fast, Khan did damage control by rolling around in the filth that is the Twitter comment section. Honestly, I think Tony Khan is just feeling the pressure of an overworked schedule where he has to book 2 pro wrestling companies and 1 college football team in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tony Twitterfingers is becoming a weekly thing, and as bad as it makes him look, from a pure entertainment standpoint, I'm here for it. So without further ado, let's get to Tony Khan's 5 messiest tweets. We'll start with some honorable mentions, like the time Tony Khan got into it with Fox News for criticizing AEW ratings. I have a pretty funny parody about it here, shout out to me. Khan also went back and forth with Yannick Ngakoue after Ngakoue forced himself out of Jacksonville. That season, the Jaguars went on to win 1 game and posted the worst record in the NFL. Thankfully, the Jaguars improved this season where they won 3 games and posted the worst record in the NFL. Number 5 is Tony Khan's Twitter beef with Randy Orton, which included Khan making the vaunted Saudi Arabia reference. This was a rare case of actual humor from Tony Khan, who tweeted in response to CM Punk, quote, "No one is safe? Sounds like a plane full of wrestlers in Saudi Arabia," end quote. Randy Orton jumped into the fray, calling out Shad Khan, Tony's father. Tony Thinskin responded in kind, quote, "I thought you only tagged me in your posts when you're grasping for leverage. That article's over a year old plus is about baseless claims made about my dad years ago. That's the best you can do, nothing. Meanwhile, in the time since that was written, you used the N-word on Twitch." Woo, look at Tony Khan pretending to care about us N-words for clout. Number 4 was the battle of the Khans as Tony Khan took to Twitter to call out WWE's Nick Khan for trying to siphon a deal with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Tony Khan cut a very awkward promo, which he of course posted on Twitter, and you can read more about these rich people problems in a video I did here. Number 3 is the inspiration for this very video as Tony Khan tried his hand at cyberbullying by trying to ratio a fan who suggested Khan needs to hire a booker. There are a lot of garbage people within the bottom of AEW's fan base, and these are the type of drones Khan was trying to signal boost by, quote, hiring this ratio. Knowing what we know about social media and the effect it has on mental health, the idea of a billionaire trying to ratio somebody with 107 followers is an all-Madden level of pettiness. By the way, that guy has at least 108 followers now. I just gave him a follow. Number 2 is Botgate beat boop as Tony Khan launched a war on bots that tweet negative things about AEW, because it's not like there's any of that going on with anti-WWE accounts. Said Tony Khan in a now infamous tweet, quote, "An independent study has confirmed that much of the staunch anti-AEW online community aren't real individuals. It's a staff running thousands of accounts plus an army of bots to signal boost them. Look closely, these aren't real people who'd pay for such a wildly expensive thing," end quote. It just gets better every time. I really hope Tony Khan's big announcement on Dynamite are the results of his independent study, complete with a 277 slide PowerPoint. Shout to Drew Gulak, which don't even get me started. For more on this Twitter meltdown, click here for last week's video right here on Previously Bots. I mean bits. And finally, the messiest tweet Tony Khan ever sent was his nuclear New Year's Eve tweet against Big Swole, where he rang in the new year by naming every black wrestler who won a match in the month of December in a single tweet, all before denigrating Big Swole's wrestling ability. Tony Khan might still be recovering from that as AEW continues to slowly make progress toward promoting black talent, all of which hold the key to pro wrestling transcending outside of the nerd-polluted message boards and into the mainstream. Personally, I love Twitter. I never take anything people say on this bird app personally because to me, Twitter is a marketing tool. You'll never see me make personal judgments on somebody's whole life or call somebody a bad person because of something they fucking tweeted. That's incel talk. The Bird app isn't real life, and the more emotional you become on Twitter, the more it's clearly becoming part of your real life, and that's just sad. I've built this entire channel by using Twitter, and when anybody has something to say, good or bad, I treat it like a free billboard being put up. I'm P.T. Barnum in this bitch. Say what you want, just spell my name right. This is nasty. I wish more people understood that Twitter is just a marketing tool. More people need to take the Skip Bayless approach. Skip has one of the best Twitter accounts because he has 3 million followers and he follows nobody. Skip Bayless is on Twitter for Skip Bayless. He's not quote tweeting people to signal an army of cyberbullies and e-drones. He's not wasting his time to chase down mean tweets. He's not replying to your comments. He's not getting into any petty arguments unless he's being paid millions of dollars to do so on FS1. And that's why he's one of the highest paid broadcasters in sports. If I ain't going back and forth with you niggas was a person, it would be Skip Bayless. Skip uses Twitter as a marketing tool. He's not wasting his time yelling at somebody with 100 followers because they disagree with his take on LeBron James. He's doing market research, and the tweets that get the biggest reaction end up becoming topics on his show. It's really the least toxic way you can use Twitter. My Twitter is sports curated, so I see Skip Bayless trending every day, but it's always because other people are talking about him, and by doing so, they're only helping him build his brand. Tony Khan needs to stop worrying about trying to control the narrative on Twitter, because all he ever ends up doing is making himself look like an asshole. Tony Twitter Fingers has become its own narrative, so much so that I even have a Best of Tony Twitter Fingers playlist on this channel. Tony Khan needs to be more like Skip Bayless and less like Donald Trump, because at least Donald Trump was funny. When Tony does his Trump impression, it just comes off as spoiled and entitled. There's an old saying that when the dog barks at the moon, it's not a story. But when the moon barks back at the dog, then it becomes a story. Don't become the story, Tony. The greatest revenge is your own success, so just focus more on the growth of AEW and less on the bullshit. And if you can't take the heat, maybe you should put in your own bid to buy Twitter. I'm sorry, let me take that again. If you can't take the heat, maybe you should ask your father to make his own bid to buy you Twitter for your birthday or maybe even Easter. What's your favorite Tony Twitter Fingers meltdown? Should Tony Khan quit Twitter? No. Tell me in the comments. Celebrate Easter with the Tony Khan Bunny Ears. Amplify your hearing and control your narrative with the Tony Khan Bunny Ears, which detect audio frequencies from every corner of Twitter, where you can listen to everything anybody has to say about you on social media, regardless of their following or clout. The Tony Khan Bunny Ears can detect negative comments from verified accounts, trolls, journalists, incels, and even has a high frequency setting to detect comments from anti-AEW Twitter bots, which are going to take over the wrestling world and enslave us all if we don't join Tony Twitter Fingers in the war against artificial intelligence. The Tony Khan Bunny Ears have 3 settings. Excuse me? The f*** you just say? And ratio. Every pair of Tony Khan bunny ears comes with one free acting class from a Karen of your choosing, so you too can learn to play the victim. Stop your productivity dead in its tracks with the Tony Khan bunny ears. Supplies are limited, so call now to reserve. Wait a minute. My bunny ears just picked up some jerk in St. Louis on Twitter who made fun of my voice. I like this voice. I'll show him. This commercial is over.